Here's the next consecutive session with Jackson. Little warm-up click. Still looking for down behavior. Any motion that he shows downward is clicked for. And then he is fed into the complete position. So the click identifies reward is coming for downward motion. And then actually the total downward motion, complete downward motion, is also then rewarded with the food. Just because we click doesn't mean that he or a dog understands completely that, oh, only when it clicked I get the food and what I did at the time of clicking. Now, if we feed actually in a position or a behavior that happens after the click, the behavior that he did right after the click before he gets the food actually is also partially rewarded. So that's how we kind of split it up here and help him out to see that the complete downward motion or position is rewarded by actually engaging in the food. We have to ignore the barking as we can only click for one behavior. So we cannot go for be quiet and lay down. We have to concentrate on the criteria of creating the down regardless if he barks or if he's quiet. There will be too much, two things to comprehend at the same time. It's not going to be understood. So we create the down, and if he still barks, then we can pick the criteria of laying down and being quiet. Nice ending of the session. So here's the next session. We ended up in the last session with a pretty good down behavior. Let's see where we at. We will click for partial downward position, but of course it's a balancing act to wait for the complete down position and only click for that anymore. So for now we're gonna have to click for the downward position even though, or downward motion, even though it's not a complete downward position. Until we get more and more of the complete down behavior, then we'll say, okay, only this is when it clicks. Step by step, we call that successive approximation. You see that he's going down further and further and further as I'm taking small increments of the downward motion to click for. It's a balancing act. Because for number one, you have to wait. It requires patience. And number two, it can just go backwards and he'll perceive the downward motion as not being successful. So there's always a little bit of a trying out. Trying out and observing what's happening and if things move forward or not. That's why I had to really stop talking while I'm doing it, because this dog is really a challenge for that matter that needs to be tackled. So he tried and tried and tried different things. They didn't work. And then all of a sudden he does a half bow there and he gets a click. So hopefully he'll get better and better at it as we go along. He is doing more of a sitting right now, which is a rear end activity, and I sure don't want that. So I want him to, we concentrate on the front end to move. And that was perfect right there. Did a complete down, got the click and the treat. And here he does it again, super ending of the session. Here's the next session. You won't miss a beat. We recorded every single session until we get there. That was super. Right at the beginning here of this session, dog offers the behavior that we have created in the first, or in the 2 sessions before, laying down. He's got it pretty good now to do a complete down without doing a lot of nonsense behaviors in between. So we must have done something right. Very quickly, little barking, and does a complete down. Not too solid yet, but it'll come, I'm pretty sure, looking at this. Super. Luckily, I didn't ask for too much there, leaving the click out. Getting the idea, like, super now. After all the struggle. Still feeding into the down position. If he is getting a click for not being completely down. Let's see one more time. Nice. Here's the next session. Still very good down, improving. Here was the wrong click. I clicked when he got up. Oh God. So I'm methodically now wait for a second of solid down that I prevent a click occurring or being given just for touching it. As I saw, he's just touching and getting up. So I extend the period of time now that he really is not necessarily getting clicked for. There was another one. Getting clicked for going down per se. He's getting clicked for being down, and will understand that the click actually ends the behavior. which is a switch from going from clicking for downward motion and feeding in the down position to actually doing a down behavior and then getting the click and ending the behavior. Big difference. That was a very good repetition and example of him having to lay down at least solidly for a second or two and then getting the click. He understands that the holding the down now is triggering the click. Super nice. Take some skill with your thumb, that's for sure.